Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here in Foley Square, the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. Now, we're covering a lot of trials here. Menendez, Guo, Wang, something about Felix Sater. But on the Trump docket, let's start with that. These 3 days of hearings, as predicted, are taking place down in Fort Pierce, including yesterday some pretty questioning by Eileen Cannon about the proposed gag order in terms of speaking about the FBI agents and the raid. Expect this to come up at the debate. Also, still waiting for a ruling by Judge Merchan on the lifting of the gag order. We'll check in on that. Hopefully we'll have an update later today. Julian Assange, the deal was cut, pleading guilty to a single count and flying from London apparently to the Northern Mariana Islands to plead guilty and be sentenced to time served at the same time and then go back to Australia. I was left wondering, usually they say it's totally up to the judges what sentence to give. You can recommend, maybe there's a cap on the plea. Others, free press advocates, are saying the plea sets a bad precedent that this was not that journalistic activity or publishing leaks in this way could be criminalized. So there's a lot of views, but we'll hope to have a little bit more. I don't know if the plea will be streamed there from the Mariana Islands, the U.S. District Court in Saipan, but we'll try to be all over it. This as we're all over Menendez. Menendez, yesterday, his staffer, Sarah Arkin, testified in great detail about his changing policy on Egypt, deciding to go quiet amid halal meat monopoly and other deals, and also on Qatar, to praise them on their business, not only in Afghanistan, but also Yemen. Now, in his defense, on the cross-examination, they were like, well, the UN praised it. David Beasley, World Food Program, praised it. I don't know what that proves. We've shown through our reporting inside the UN, before being ousted from the UN, that Qatar bribes the UN too. There was a time after Superstorm Sandy where a lot of documents were destroyed, and suddenly Qatar came forward with unlimited money to redo them in exchange for being named to various committees and praised. They sponsor a very plush lounge in the UN. So what it proves, I just don't know. Guo, there was a development. Yesterday, Judge Torres ruled that the expert of Guo can testify as to the illegal Chinese police station on East Broadway, not far from here. So that should be interesting. The defense case, we'll be covering that as well. We cover the United Nations. Yesterday, there was no noon briefing, but we still put in questions. Why was there no noon briefing? Because Antonio Guterres decided it was the day to declare war on disinformation and put pressure on platforms to take disinformation down. The problem here is that the UN has shown so little respect for freedom of the press that it declares anything that's critical of it, factually or not, to be disinformation that should be taken down by platforms, and the press that reports or even asks about it can be banned without any appeals rights. Well, that's not freedom of the press, and so I don't think that putting Big Tony in charge of the internet or AI is a good idea at all. But to be continued. We're heading into the court now, probably to begin with U.S. versus Menendez, Gold Bar Bob. You can find the book on Amazon. To be continued.